Hi, this video is primarily about the restoration of a 1985 Hobie 16 catamaran. The project first started out as a simple one, like most projects do. The idea was to fiberglass around the rudders to ensure they were stable and reduce some of the shaking there. Also, there were a few nicks on the sides and the bottom of the boat that needed repair. After these cosmetic repairs, I wanted to give it a new paint job with epoxy to get rid of the older yellow look that the boat had. Following the paint job, the next item was to replace the trampoline. The trampoline, it was getting old by then. All the above was completed, but there was a slight detour made when I discovered a few soft spots in both pontoons. It was really the soft spot repairs that are the focus of this video. Epoxy coating or painting with Alexiel is covered in much better detail on other videos, and so that part of the process was not really emphasized here. Here are some of the details. So what was the problem? It was really soft spots on the side of the boat's pontoons due to some moderate delamination that was occurring under the shell. That's delamination that is between the shell and the foam that was originally installed when the pontoons were made. So why did I do this? Really just to extend the life of the pontoons, and then they eventually paint the boat to make it look a little nicer too. So how long did it take? Probably just in sanding and repairs for the pontoons, not painting, just pontoons, about 50 to 60 hours. Yeah, it was that slow. And the cost just for the pontoons, not the paint, was about $190 to $200. And the product I used was called Get Rot Epoxy. So here we go with the video. I hope you get something out of it. Well, a good way to test for soft spots is use a coin, and you tap along and listen for the tone of the coin. Here, that is the tone of a tone that actually sounds sound to me. It doesn't sound like there's any delamination going on here. But if you move this coin into areas where there's delamination, you can hear the sound. The tone changes. It deadens a little bit because there's a void underneath the surface. Definitely hear the tone. And put your ear to the surface and press on the surface and listen for a scratchy noise. Definitely hear one here. So it's always best to confirm soft spots with your ear and pushing down and listening to the soft spot. That soft spot is really a delamination between the surface and the fiberglass underneath. Now once you've done that, what I have marked out here are a number of spots where I am going to drill holes. This is a soft spot here. It's much harder here, so I'm not putting any marks here or here. But certainly here, there's some soft spots here. I can hear them, especially right there. That's a bad one there. So I've marked these out 2-inch. The lines, the areas on the lateral of the boat are every 2-inch, and this direction, I guess it's called transverse direction, is about 3 inches. So I will drill holes along here as well as right here. What I like to do is use a tool that I picked up from Home Depot. And what it does is allows someone to drill precisely the depth that you want. From this edge here to here is probably about 3/8 inch or so. And that way, if you press on the drill too much, it doesn't go all the way through. Because what you want to do is get access to that layer, or that void between the shell and the fiberglass underneath. It's very important not to go too far, but at least penetrate this. So this is a great tool to do, and the way I do this is you point it right there and drill some holes. That way you've penetrated the surface. But not too deep. So on the boat this way, as well as this way, creates a somewhat level platform for the material, if it's going to gravity flow, to have that, you know, flow right and left. Now the center holes are a bit higher than the other holes, and so these tend to take more product in the middle than they do on the outside because it flows. Now when I filled these yesterday, eventually some fluid started bubbling out of here and here, and so I had to put some tape over it and hold it down so the fluid didn't come out of these holes. But I find that keeping the pontoon or platform as level as possible, that helps the spread of the material, or the jit rock underneath the surface. All right, so I have been trying both the inverted applicator, squeeze the stuff into the holes, and then switching back to the slow drip torture method. And you know, I seem to like the slow drip torture method better, because you're not wasting as much product, and it seems like a little bit, although it's more time consuming, it seems like it's getting the job done better than the squeeze method. The whole principle of the material is to use capillary pressure or capillary force to move the product around the shell. And I just don't think you can force it by squeezing it in. It has to travel by itself and sort of coat the inside. And then when you add some more, then it fills up the void. I think if you just sort of squeeze it, then it may find the path of least resistance. Say like you squeeze here, and it may pop out this hole and not really get over here. So that's at least my experience so far. So I can show you here what the end stage looks like for putting product in these holes. You can kind of tell, hopefully, the little bubbles. You can see the fluid that is popping out of those holes, at least the reflections of the pools. So it looks like those holes have filled with product. And oh, wait a minute, I'll put this one here. Yep, it looks like that one's full too. And then moving down to this array of holes, it looks like they're doing really well. Maybe this one here takes a couple more drops, and maybe this hole here too. Okay, and here is the completely finished painting of the pontoons. These are 3 coats for Seal. So far, so good. With the holes painted, now it's time to replace the trampoline. As you can see, the trampoline is a little bit worn out. There's a couple little holes in it, but there's a new trampoline. All right, and then finally the finished product. And here it is. Got the new white tarpaulin, painted the rudders, and here's the side. It came out all right. I'm pretty happy with it. A lot of work. lot of time, but it worked nicely.